If there's one strange thing you'll ever hear in your life, you'll hear it today with me. Our story today is very bizarre, and its events are true, about a madman who drove the Mafia insane right along with him. He wasn't in his right mind. They tried to kill him in a million ways, but what did he do to them? They couldn't get him. I don't want to drag out the introduction, so come with me now to see what this madman did. I've left links to the story's sources in the description for you to verify it. In 1932, in the United States of America, specifically in New York, there was a crisis known as the Great Depression. During this crisis, most American families were without work, without shelter, and even without the will to live. Death seemed easier to them than what they were going through. The situation was difficult, and people were willing to do anything just to earn money. A man was willing to work as a dancer, no problem, or even as a con man or a thief. Anything, absolutely anything was acceptable as long as it brought in money. Is everything clear so far? During that period, the time of the Great Depression, gangs and the Mafia began to flourish and spread, and their business thrived. In New York, there was a small gang that owned and operated a speakeasy. This speakeasy was unlicensed, and an old Irishman was a constant regular. He was 60 years old, an elderly man who had previously worked as a firefighter but had grown old, left his job, and become an alcoholic. His name was Michael Malloy. Michael Malloy had immigrated from Ireland to the United States, worked as a firefighter, and then left the job. Some say he was fired, but the reasons for his dismissal remain unknown. It was said that many institutions at the time were trying to cut their budgets, leading to thousands of employees, including Michael Malloy, losing their jobs. Our friend Michael was a drunkard who went to the speakeasy daily and drank until he passed out. They would throw him out of the place every single day. Every day he'd come to drink, not pay his tab, and they'd kick him out. On top of that, when he got drunk, he would sleep on the floor and wet himself. As if being a drunk sleeping on the bar floor wasn't enough, you wet yourself too? Anyway, they would have to carry him out, filth and all, and dump him outside the speakeasy. He also bothered the customers, especially the young women, harassing them after he got drunk. They'd come and beat him out, saying, "Get out of here. You don't pay, you sleep on the floor and wet yourself, you harass the girls, and you stink. Go take a bath." And in fact, that was one of the reasons for his expulsion. Because he was homeless, he didn't bathe, and his foul odor annoyed the patrons. The head of the gang responsible for the speakeasy, a man named Tony Marino, got sick of him and his behavior. During a meeting with two of his gang members, Daniel Kreisberg and Francis Pasqua, they decided to get rid of him. They said, "We'll come up with a plan and get rid of him." Here, Francis proposed a devilish idea. It's only natural for mafia ideas to be devilish. They decided to take out a life insurance policy on Michael, then let him drink all the booze he wanted until he died. This way, they would get rid of him without any suspicion falling on them, and on top of it all, they'd make money. A man named Joseph Murphy, the bartender at the speakeasy, heard about their plan and decided to join them. To execute the plan, Francis went to 3 insurance companies and at each one took out a policy in the name of Joseph Murphy, the bartender. He claims to be Michael's brother and said he wanted to insure Michael's life, with the policy payout in his name. The value of the 3 policies totaled $3,576, which is roughly equivalent to $74,000 in today's money. The amount was worth the effort. They told themselves, no one will suspect a thing. Michael is an old man, 60 years old, a homeless alcoholic. It's only natural for him to die one day from alcohol poisoning. It's just a matter of time. We'll make him drink until he drops, then we'll collect our money and get rid of him at the same time. After registering the insurance policies, they went to Michael and said, "Come here, Michael, our dear friend. This whole bar is yours. See all these bottles? Drink them all. Drink until you're blind drunk. Drink as much as you want and don't pay the tab. Consider this place your own." I expect when Michael heard them say that, he thought he had died and gone to heaven. A drunk being told a bar is open to him for free? He must have been out of his mind with joy. So he entered the speakeasy and began to drink and drink and drink. It's said the amount he drank was enough to kill more than one person. But after he finished drinking, he would walk out of the bar as if nothing had happened. For him, the situation was completely normal. This went on for more than a day. The funny thing was, Michael would walk into the bar and choose the most expensive types of liquor. The gang started losing their profits and running short on cash. They told him to drink, so he went and picked the priciest stuff. The problem was, he could drink enough for 17 people and not be affected. He was used to drinking the cheapest, worst kinds of liquor, and nothing happened to him, so how would he be affected when they gave him something clean and high-end? The gang got fed up and started losing money. So they decided on a second plan. They started giving him methanol, or industrial alcohol, which is extremely potent, 99% pure alcohol. If a person drinks a little of it, they lose their sight and go blind. If a person drinks 2 glasses of it, those 2 glasses are enough to kill them. Can you imagine how strong it is? They said, no one will suspect us, and no one will know we killed him. Even if the best doctor in the world came, they wouldn't be able to tell he drank industrial alcohol. The alcohol in his blood would just show up as regular alcohol. And so, one day, they gave him a dose of methanol sufficient to kill 2 men, not just 1. They said, at the very least, he'll pass out or go blind. But our guy didn't pass out, didn't lose his sight, and showed no signs of anything. What's more, he didn't even notice the taste had changed. He drank it normally. This went on for 2 days, during which Michael drank enough to kill 6 men, yet he remained perfectly fine, and nothing happened to him. The gang met again and held a meeting, saying, this dog doesn't want to die. How do we kill him? One of them said, let's give him poison. Another replied, if we give him chemical or manufactured poison, we'll be exposed, and we don't want that. We want to get rid of him without the police or the insurance company suspecting us, so we can get the money. So they decided to give him rotten oysters. If you don't know, rotten oysters cause very severe food poisoning. They said, we'll give him the oysters and no one will notice. They'll say he was a homeless man who found these oysters in the trash, ate them, got poisoned, and died. Who's going to care about him? The next day, they brought Michael in. After he had his fill of liquor, they placed the oysters in front of him and he ate them all. After he finished eating, he got up and walked out of the speakeasy. They said, he'll surely be dead tomorrow from poisoning. But the next day, the man returned to them, strolling in and entering the bar as if nothing had happened. His stomach was indestructible. At this point, the gang decided to try something else. They brought him a rotten sardine sandwich and put small, rusty nails inside it. I don't know how he was supposed to eat it, but the nails were very small. Do you know what happened? Michael ate the sandwich. Do you think I'm going to tell you he died? No, he didn't die. He asked for another one. What can I say? He liked the sardine and nail sandwich. Maybe it was delicious. We should try it. The crazy part is he told the person who made the sandwich, you're an excellent cook. I suggest you open your own restaurant. Imagine he actually said that to him. After finishing his second sandwich, he left the bar and went on his way. At this point, the gang was at their wits' end. They were sick of him. He just wouldn't die. So they decided to find another way to kill him. One day, while Michael was sitting in the bar drinking, he passed out as usual. Here, they decided to seize the opportunity. This is our chance, they said. They took him, removed his shirt, it was cold and snowing, and threw him into a snowbank. They waited for him to freeze, then poured water on his face and chest. They said, surely no one will suspect us. Maybe he met one of the street girls and decided to get intimate with her in the street. Since he has no home, it's natural he'd do it in the street. And since he was drunk, he passed out and fell in the snow until he died. Everyone knows he's a drunk, no one can predict his actions. This is what the gang told each other. But when they went to the bar the next day, they found him sitting there, drinking. Imagine, they did all that to him and he didn't die. The very next day, he came back to the bar and sat down to drink. A few days later, he drank until he passed out in the speakeasy again. They said, if he survives this time, he won't survive the next. It's either us or him. So they took him in their car at night, threw him into the street, and ran him over twice with the car, then fled. They hoped another car would come and run him over too, so the second car would discover him dead and they could get their money. And again, no one would suspect them. They told each other that if the police came, they'd say he was a drunk who tried to cross the street and got hit by a car and died. After running him over and leaving him in the street, they went to the bar the next day and didn't find him. Did you think I was going to say he was there? No, this time he wasn't. They rejoiced, saying, finally, he must be dead. 5 days passed and he didn't show up, which made them even happier. He's definitely dead. But there was a problem. They had no news of him. neither that he was alive nor that he was dead. So they started asking about him in hospitals and morgues to find his body, so they could go to the insurance company and get their money. But they found no trace of him in any hospital or morgue. The man had vanished. Then, one day, as they were sitting around, Michael walked into the bar and started drinking. They were so shocked, they stared at his face, saying, "No, no, it can't be him." They looked at him intently. Yes, it was him. No one knows how he survived that accident. Maybe a third and fourth car ran him over and nothing happened, or maybe he was injured and came back after about a week. At this point, the gang started to get suspicious. They said, maybe he went to the police and told them something. Let's ask him. So they asked him, "Where have you been? It's been almost a week and you haven't shown up, which isn't like you. You love to drink." He told them, "I don't know. I woke up and found myself in the middle of the street with tire tracks on my body." It was normal for him. He didn't care. Then he went back to drinking. The gang sat down together and said, "We've done all these things to him and he hasn't died. What do we do?" The insurance policies were about to expire. A lot of time had passed, and they had spent so much money on the liquor he was drinking that it exceeded the value of the policy. They were afraid they would come out of this whole scheme with a loss. Here, the gang snapped. They decided to devise a plan that would guarantee his death 100%. A few days later, they made him drink a very large amount of liquor until he fell unconscious. They took him to the cellar, placed a wet cloth over his face, and put a gas tube under it. After about an hour, he finally stopped breathing. Michael was dead. They reported his death, the police came and took his body to the morgue. Murphy went to the insurance company to claim the money, but after an autopsy was performed on Michael's body, they discovered he had died of asphyxiation. The insurance company began an investigation and asked Murphy several questions, but he couldn't answer and started getting nervous. The insurance company suspected him and reported him to the police. Murphy was arrested for questioning. During the interrogation, Murphy confessed to everything and informed on the gang members. They were all brought in and interrogated, and they confessed to what they had done. They were charged with first-degree murder and fraud. They were all sentenced to death in the electric chair. They deserved it. On July 5, 1934, their death sentences were carried out. Michael may have been a drunk and a bad man, but no one has the right to kill him. In the end, they got what they deserved. I drink water and get dizzy, and he drinks industrial alcohol and nothing happens to him. He drove them crazy. He made the Mafia go insane. What if, after they gassed him, he had gotten up again? What do you think would have happened to the gang? And here we reach the end of our story for today. I hope I presented it in a way you enjoyed. If you're watching me for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the like button and activate the notification bell to get all the new content first.